What is FERPA? FERPA is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act of 1974. The purpose of this act is to provide students and parents the right to inspect their education records and to protect the privacy of those records. This act applies to any educational institution that receives federal funds. Education records are defined as records which contain information concerning a student and that are maintained by an educational institution, such as enrollment and attendance information, grades and test records, scholarship applications, disciplinary records, health and medical records. Personal notes kept by teachers and other school officials that are not shared with others are not considered part of a student's education record and are not covered under this act. Other information not covered includes law enforcement records, employment records that are not tied to student status, and alumni records. Students and parents have the right to review any education record on file that is covered under FERPA. They also have the right to appeal in writing any information they find to be inaccurate or misleading. If a parent's appeal is denied, they have the right to a hearing if they see fit to do so. Parents are limited to review only information pertaining to their child. Any information that includes another student must be redacted prior to being accessible to the parent. Students and parents have the right to assume their information is private and will not be shared unless they are notified in writing or have requested this themselves. Information must be supplied within a reasonable amount of time following the request. Federal law states these records must be made available within 45 days. There are some exceptions to the prohibition against the release of personal information without consent. A few of those exceptions are when working with appropriate officials in health or safety emergencies, while complying with a court order, or when providing requested information from another school district into which a student seeks to enroll or transfer. There are ways an employee could disclose a student's personally identifiable information unintentionally, creating liability for the district. Personally identifiable information includes names or nicknames, addresses, student ID numbers, and personal characteristics that would make it easy to identify the student. Sharing information on social media may seem innocent enough. We all like to keep our friends and family up to date on our daily lives, and we may share a story about a student that we find funny, heartwarming, or even sad. Many times, stories are told without using a student's name, but rather a nickname, or may be accompanied by a description of the student. These practices are dangerous as you simply don't know who your online friends know or who they are related to. You may have inadvertently shared a story that a family would have rather been kept private. Thus, you're in contempt of the FERPA laws. It is recommended that you never share photos of your students online without the permission of the student's parents. Please remember that student privacy is of the utmost importance in today's world. We must be responsible stewards of their information. Teachers, counselors, and administrators are not the only staff members that this act applies to. Any staff member of Union Public Schools, whether working directly with students or not, is required to assume a professional level of confidentiality in regards to any and all student information. It is imperative that we not only respect a family's right to privacy, but that we respect the laws set forth to protect them as well.